Assalamu alaikum. Today I want to present the topic of hospital management system, which has been assigned to us for a software testing session. Actually, I'm presenting this topic on behalf of my group, which is composed of Putri Amina, No Saida, Wilki, Wan Maisara, and I. So we actually proceed on hospital management to make the testing on different features that has been listed in our report. So first of all, what is hospital management system? A hospital management system is actually a system that is elaborated to help an hospital managing their data, which is concern of drug management, financial management of financial status, patient management, staff management, appointment management, as well as lab and test management. So in this study, we have highlighted two types of features. The first type of feature is those features that are going to be tested during the testing phase. And the second one is concerning about those features that are not being covered during the testing case. So the features that will be covered during the testing case have been listed here, as you can see, as which are patient management, appointment module, accounting, medicine management, laboratory, and test management. So, what is the test strategy that we have been using in this study? For this hospital management system, the strategy that is being used is that the test is the black box text, where test cases are derived using black box testing, such as equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table testing, state transition testing, and use case testing. So now we jump to the test case what, which I highlighted in the previous slide. We actually have around six features to be tested. So the first feature here is the patient management. For the patient management, we focus on uh, things such as registering the patient data into the hospital database. So for this testing, we choose as input the name, the patient ID, the IC number, the, uh, the city which refers to the address of the patient, and the dates at the dates where like the patient visited the hospital. So after inputting these criteria into the system, we expect to have a result which will be shown on the screen as patient successfully registered. So we also plan to test this situation in case there is something wrong during the registration. So for that, we choose as input the name as well, the patient ID, same, the IC number, the address, and the date of the visits to the hospital. But in this case, we have an unsuccessful registration because not enough character in the IC number. There is something missing in the IC number, which make the registration impossible. Next, we have the case where we store health for each patient information. I mean, we store health information for each patient. So in this case, we choose as input the patient ID, the dates, the symptoms that are presented by the patient, and the doctor's ID into the system. So after inputting these values, we expect to have as a result a successfully stored health data message for the specific patient. So to test in In the case of a failing, in the case of a failure, we choose to input the patient ID, the date, but we left the symptoms empty, and we input the doctor's ID. And as a result, we will get an unsuccessful store health data since symptom is empty. The symptoms file is empty. So for this, the system will not be able to store the health information of the patient. Next, in this case, we have testing regarding the view treatment received by a patient. We choose as input the name of the patient and the ID of the patient as well. And we get as a result, treatment details of the patient are displayed. Special procedure for this requirement is that the admin has to log in. And intercase dependency, this testing depends on the testing which has been done previously with the ID number of TC01001. And in the case of failure, we choose the name of one patient, let's say the patient's ID, and there will be, as a result, a display of a message on the screen saying that the patient doesn't exist in the database. There is no such patient in the register, so we can view the treatment received by that patient. So next, we have the appointment module. For the appointment module, we are actually focusing on some criteria such as enable patient to make an application form for an appointment with a doctor. So for this case, we use as input the name, the patient ID, the doctor name, the preferred dates, the preferred time slots. So after entering these values correctly, we get as a result successfully created an appointment application for the patient's ID, which has been input during the process of making the appointment. And next, we also choose a secondary option to make an appointment. I mean, like a secondary option of making an appointment by using the same system. So in this case, there is no name inputted, but the patient's ID is here. We input the patient ID and we left all the rest as blank. And still, there will be a successfully created appointment. But they will not have full information about this appointment since the patient is not known yet. Next is to arrange the schedule of appointment application received by a doctor. This text case concern about arranging the schedule appointment received by a doctor. So for this, we input the name, the patient ID, the doctor's name, the doctor's ID as well, the preferred date, the preferred time slots. So, and we expect a result of time slot successfully filled by application of patient P111, which refers to the patient's ID inputted just now. So, and this text case depends on the text case that has been seen in the TC02011, just the previous test case before this. So, and we choose to text in the case that there is something wrong and see if the system will detect an error. So in this case, we choose, we input the name of the patient as well, the patient's ID, the doctor's name, the doctor's ID, the preferred time, the preferred date, I mean, the preferred time slots. and the time slot status in this case is 1. So we will receive as a result, time slot cannot be chosen by application of patient. Time slot was occupied. In the case that a time slot is not available, once the patient chooses it, we expect the system to show an error saying this slot is not available. Next, we have accounting. So this refers to the financial management of the hospital. So in this, we have a store in the hospital database, patient's payment detail. This concern are about storing the patient's payment detail into the hospital database. So the input for this test case is to press the payment button, because there will be this from the interface, there will be a payment button. Once we click the payment button, we expect the system to show a form with this list of details: payment ID, patient ID, payment ID, time, and updated back. And we fill after filling all necessary files of the form and click submit. We will after filling all the necessary files of the form, we expect the system to show all the file space with a green light, which means that all the files have been occupied, like has a value, some values. And after clicking submit, there will be a prompt window saying updated successfully. And this text case is, it depends on the text case with the ID of TC01001. Next, we have store in the hospital database expenses and profit details. And in this, we also click on the update expenses button from the interface of the system. Then we expect the system to show a form with this list of detail as well: maintenance fee to be updated, hospital dog fees, staff monthly salary, and recompenses. Then after filling all these files from the form just presented by the system, we expect to have this result show all the file space with a green light as well. So no missing information will be left. And after clicking submit, the Windows prompt a message update successfully. Next, we have the medicine management part of the system. This concern of testing the system regarding the transactions or management of the medicine. Okay, in this case, we, as a hospital, after buying new drug, we need to register the drug into the system, into the database. So we text the system, in this case, for storing the details of the drug into the hospital database. So we insert as input the drug name. It can be paracetamol, the drug ID, the treatment the drug can be headache, painkiller, etc. And we expect as a result successfully stored drug data for medicine M111, which represent the drug ID or the medicine ID. And for this text case, the special procedure requirement is that the admin has to be logged in. And then the next, we choose a case where there is an error during the registration of the drug into the database by inputting the drug name, the drug ID, but missing information about the treatment the drug can do. In this case, we expect as a result that the system will show unsuccessful to store drug data for the medicine M111. The treatment details cannot be empty. Next is to store the details of drug prescribed in the treatment. So as input, we choose to input the patient ID, the doctor's ID, the treatment ID, the drug ID as well. So as a result, we get prescription of the treatment T111, which refers to the treatment ID, successfully stored. And in case of a failure, we input the patient ID, doctor ID, the treatment ID, but the drug ID is not specified. We don't know which drug is to be prescribed. So in this case, the system will show a message saying unsuccessful to store prescription of the treatment T111, which refers to the treatment ID. Drug name cannot be empty. Next, we have laboratory and test management. Laboratory and test management, which we focus on storing the patient's test result after passing a test. So for this case, we input the patient's ID, the doctor's ID, test to receive, and medicine, the medicine that has been prescribed to the patient. So for this testing case, we get as a result from the system successful store test result for patient with patient ID P1111. We also test this phase with a failure condition as well by inputting the patient ID P111. The doctor's ID is empty in this case. No doctor's ID is specified. The test received, no test received specified, no result as well. Suggested medicine, painkiller, and 100 grams of it. In this case, the system will show unsuccessful data storing due to null attributes because there are missing values during the entry of the patient's test result into the system. Next, we have this testing TC05002, which is to show test result to hospital staff. As input, staff click on the view test result page. Staff select the desired patient by searching by patient ID or name. And the result of this test, by doing this step, will show the patient results into the screen from the, the screen. Also, the staff click on the view test results page. Staff search by existent patient ID. The system will display error patient not found. Let's try again with a valid patient ID only. Okay, I think that's all for our presentation today. This is actually the work that we have done so far for the hospital management system. Thank you and assalamu alaikum.